What is happening, Magnusites? So, a few of you sent me compilation of different comedians, what they had to say, what their reactions were about Will Smith slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars. There's a part 1 and there's a part 2. Starting with part 1. Let's get it. Actually, I'm going to do this one a different way. There we go. Alright.
What's the deal with airplane peanuts? So you ran into Chris at the after party.
Yeah, bro. So it was pretty wild. So Spade took me over to the who actually is from Arizona. Shout out, I think he's from Scottsdale.
Hey.
So Spade invited me to be his guest or whatever. We went to the Vanity Fair party. And then we went to some other dude, a rich guy's house. This dude was really, really rich. Like, they had a machine in the front, you could just get money out of it. It was just like, it was an ATM, but you could guess any number and it gave you, it was like, this dude was real, real rich. Like, yeah, they had, even his dog had like a little wallet on the side. Damn. So this dude was really, really rich.
Had
and
a
we
wallet.
went in and like, Jennifer Lawrence is sitting in the back just hanging out outside, like, just in her pajamas. She like lived next door, I guess, and so she came over because she heard some commotion or whatever. So she's out back just hanging out. Like, there's like Penelope Cruz, fancy people. I mean, it's like fancy people you see on the magazine, and they're just sitting there, you know, eating. You know, they had some raviolis. What else did they have? They had a salad that looked. It was a little I thought it was a little bit wilted, but people were eating it. Rich people will eat. They'll eat kind of more. They'll say it's like more artistic kind of. But anyway, so we get to finally see Chris Rock, right? And I'm with David Spade, so Spade knows him. So they're just kind of talking, and he was just shocked. He was like, "What the fuck happened?" He's almost. It reminded me of, you ever been at a party and somebody gets hit by somebody, and then the person that hit him leaves. And there was never really like a big fight.
I told you that shit happens all the time.
But the one dude never had any idea there was any beef or anything going on. And then you start talking to that guy, and he's like, "Bro, what the fuck happened? Like, what do you think?" You know, that's kind of what it was. He was just like.
Real quick, one of you commented the other day, and I pinned it. Said he works at a homeless shelter. People get slapped all the time. No one goes to jail. No one gets press charges against them. I told you. This stiff stuff happens all the time. You know, sometimes it's worth people being arrested, and sometimes it's not. And that's why what I place this in, you know. I don't think Will's above the law, but I think it was just a really strange situation where a man had a mental break. And, you know, he was asked to leave, but he didn't leave. Then he won. But, you know, and the police even contacted, "Hey, do y'all want us to do something about this?" And they're like, "Nah, you know, just let it go." You know, that's what Chris Rock said. So, it is what it is. Sometimes it's on different bases.
Like, what the fuck?
So did he not know that she had alopecia or whatever disease? That's why she was bald? Did he not know that?
I think he had no clue. I think he had no clue. And who don't have alopecia? Everybody's going bald.
You want to hear something funny? I saw a tweet that said it wasn't even Rock's joke. It was one of the writers.
That's so good.
What do you think he's doing
Oh,
back
wow.
But after,
The writer just like,
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
The writer probably thought of way worse jokes about infidelity and was like, "Let's go with something mild."
Dude, she's wearing a green, like a military green outfit.
Bruh.
Yeah.
And
Speaking of that, speaking of the infidelity, I don't know everything about this thing. I saw the Red Table Talk, but I saw it, you know, like a day after it came out, and that thing between her and him and entanglement and all that. And I don't really remember it much, but just correct me if I'm wrong. I see this comment all the time. He slapped the wrong dude. I think he slapped the wrong guy. Who he should have slapped was, wait a minute. If it's true that Will gave his permission to him, if it's true that they had an open marriage, I'm saying if it's true, allegedly, then he didn't slap. You know, like you can't say that he slapped the wrong guy or he shouldn't have slapped Chris. But what I'm saying is, people are saying, well, you should have slapped August. But I'm like, well, they had an open marriage in agreement. Okay, it's their marriage, their rules. You know what I mean? Listen, I worked with a chick that was in a swinger marriage, and they had certain rules. Yes, I was even going to go to one of them swinger clubs with them just to see the mayhem going on. And she warned me. She said, if you do come, no pun intended. She was like, if you do come, you're going to see a whole lot of stuff you don't want to see. I'm like, oh, God. I'm like, okay. So that's what I'm saying. You know,
Is she going to be in G.I. Jane?
No.
They're not making another G.I. Jane?
No. She's not doing this for a role.
What? What do you mean? What do you mean?
No. She's doing it because she has alopecia.
Yes. She's losing her hair.
Yeah, which is apparently a huge deal. I had no idea.
Every person at the Oscars has fake hair.
Every person in this room is losing their hair.
Yeah. Shouts to Keeps. Yeah. But no, for real, like, if there's one place where you can wear, like, wigs and fake hair and all that kind of stuff, it's the Like, every girl there probably has extensions.
Yeah, she wanted to be proud. She wanted to come out and say, yo, this is my hair.
Well, then keep it a buck. Be proud, yo.
You don't go and sit in the front row. You're a star at the Oscars. There's a professional comedian whose job is to roast people. That's what he's doing. And what he did was not even insulting.
It's not about...
It was a mild joke. That was not an insult. It was the most mild joke about her hairstyle.
Depends on the situation, Mr. Rogan.
I fully get it. But
Like
I'm just simply saying...
And yes, I know Jada put out a video that said she didn't care. But a lot of people do stuff like that when they really do care. So, you know. Or maybe it ripped the scab off, you know. It's like, I don't care, I'm moving forward, doing my thing. And then you said that on national television in front of millions. It probably messed with her. You saw her face. But if I was Will, I wouldn't have laughed and then got up. Like, I just wouldn't have laughed anyway. You know what I mean? But I want to see those few moments in between that they did not show us. I want to see how he looked at her, how she looked at him, or what happened.
Any justification whatsoever of him getting up there and smacking him in the
Well,
face.
Pete need to come out and do an interview.
Carlos is. He's like the Mexican Larry David. He's like Luis David. He is. And Carlos is, what are you doing?
Keep Carlos's name out of your fucking mouth.
Dude, it was like a Larry David joke.
I did not see that coming!
Out of your fucking mouth!
When I first saw it, I was like, yeah. Pete bumped me twice.
Oh, Chris Rock.
Chris Rock. Friday and Saturday. I wasn't able to go
Who's
on.
that sitting next to him?
He's a nice guy. I'm just saying.
The sunglasses on, like she had a hard night.
Don't bump. You know what I mean? And then Eric made a little meme of the slap. He said, don't be bumping people in the OR. You know what I mean? So, it's just funny. But when you really think about it, because it was a moment after Will said, don't ever fucking talk about me a couple times. He said that. Where Chris, I know that look because I've been there. It's a moment of shock and trauma.
Mm-hmm.
It was traumatic.
Mm-hmm.
He was assaulted in front of millions and trillions of people. I mean, not millions of people watched but virally. I mean, you're talking about the world saw it. The whole world. The Russians saw it.
Yeah.
I bet you Putin saw it.
What do you think weighs more?
No one likes
Chris Rock or the hair in the shower drain of Jada Smith?
Wow.
What do you think weighs more?
He was doing some weird movie thing. It was like he was getting away with it as if he was living in a fictional movie. Like, the idea that you think it's smart while wearing a tuxedo to walk onto a stage in front of the world, like literally the world, one of the biggest award shows on earth, if not the biggest, and smack a comedian for the most mild joke, and then sit there quivering, saying,
With
keep
anger.
my wife's name out of your fucking mouth, and everybody's just gonna sit there in the shit that you just took on the table. You just pulled your pants down, took a shit on the dinner table, and they all have to just sit there and look at that. That's what it's like.
That's the way to
The
put
shit's
it.
full of peanuts and corn and everything.
Stinks. It's just the whole idea of it is completely irrational. But what I'm saying is, like, these people live in this fake world of, you know, you're protected by guards, you're driven by limos, you're on the red carpet, you know, like all of it is crazy life. And he's so goddamn famous and so removed from regular discourse, and
He's so famous, he stopped the world, and days later, people are still talking about it. We're still talking about it. That's how famous he is. Reminds me of that joke that Dave Chappelle did about Monica Lewinsky, and he said something about, like, can you imagine how famous the president? Like, you don't really realize how famous the president is. It's like, you suck his dick and now you're famous. Like, what? Yeah, so
interaction with regular people, that he, for whatever reason in his head, acted like he's a character in a movie.
Yeah, there was a guy, a writer there, and I remember him saying, I don't think that it was real. And I'm like, I don't think the acting could be that great.
Yeah, way, bro.
And so, yeah, then we ended up at the party, and then Rock was there, which I thought was a cool movie. He's at the party. He's not, like, ducking anything, you know?
Yeah.
I think he thought it was really weird. He didn't look, like, affected. He didn't have, like, a little cast on his jaw or nothing.
Just imagine me and Kalila in the audience. We'll never go there, but...
We'll never.
Yeah, but
Certainly
that's
not
supposed to be
front
there.
stage.
And Chris goes, look at Kalila with her heart defect or something, right?
Yeah.
And people are laughing, right?
There's something worse about my the way I look, not so much.
But Bobby Lee's dating Stanley Tucci.
Oh God.
Stanley Tucci's here, right?
I forgot
And
the
I
Asian
kinda laugh,
comedian's name. What's
right?
his name?
And I look over and you're upset, right? I would look.
What if he said this?
Yeah,
He was on Mad TV, right?
I'm in the audience.
Yeah. She looks so much like Stanley Tucci. He hasn't fucked her in 2 years.
No, you have to look upset. Then I look back up here, and I look at you and I'll go, we're on TV, smile, bitch. We're on TV, bitch. There's billions of people, bitch. We're millionaires, bitch. You mean you could take that?
That's true.
Now, question, guys. Jada Pinkett Smith's hair condition. You think that's actually alopecia, or it's all like the R&B singers just rubbing her head?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, yo, this dude's going
They
off.
said that her head is like the new log from the Apollo.
Gross.
Like, what, you thought I was gonna give all of those jokes in the intro? Come on, so we gotta have a couple leftovers.
This dude is
for the
cutthroat.
conversation. Right there, you can have a career.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Here's what happened right afterwards. He won the Academy Award, then goes up and does a speech. The whole thing was so bizarre, and it made me think, like, how many other human beings could be in a similar situation and pull that off?
Not
like,
many.
Not too
like
many.
if a man walked on stage and smacked a woman,
That would not
Oh.
fly.
would not fly.
Not fly.
If a woman walked on stage and smacked another woman, I don't even think it would fly.
I would love to see if The Rock said something.
Woman walked
instead of
up
Chris
and
Rock.
smacked a
Then
man, I
he
bet
said,
you she
"Keep
might
my wife's name out of your mouth."
get away with it.
What if it was Jimmy Kimmel? What if it was a white dude? What if it was Ricky
Ricky
Gervais?
Gervais.
Will Smith ain't handing.
You know what's funny? A lot of people are saying that. That's another one that I noticed. And that one has had me ponder it. I don't know. Everyone says, no, he wouldn't have, but I don't know. Like, and I think about it politically. I don't know. If it was somebody white, what would he have done? If it was a woman, he wouldn't have smacked her. I already know that. And oh yeah, people were saying, well, what if it was instead of Chris Rock? What if it was The Rock? Would he have? I don't know how much balls Will got. I put it this way: if you want to place bets, if you want me to place bets, okay, I would bet more on him slapping a white man up there. Take the woman out of the equation because that's not going to happen at all. I just don't believe that. You can't convince me that he would walk up there and smack a woman, whether she was black or white or whatever in between. But I would definitely, I would bet money that he wouldn't have walked up and slapped The Rock. I saw some people saying that Chris Rock actually is a trained fighter. So he knew what he was dealing with then. But maybe I don't know what was going through his mind. I'm waiting for the Oprah interview. The Oprah interview where she interviews both him and Jada. That's what I'm waiting for. And Chris. Maybe they'll interview them all together or separately or whatever. But Chris Rock should have an Oprah interview by himself, and they should have one together, and then they should bring them together. But I mean, I don't know how much balls he got, but I don't think he would have slapped The Rock if The Rock had made that joke. But maybe he would have. I don't know him. I know people that know him. Maybe I'll ask them. I'm gonna ask them. Like, you think he would have did it if it was The Rock, or if it was somebody white? What you think? You know him pretty well.
Yeah,
that's
probably right.
What do you think, Al? I don't think he's hitting him.
I don't know. I think Will was fed up.
Someone said if it was Samuel L. Jackson, I bet you he wouldn't have did it. Yo, you know what? I don't see him doing that to Samuel L. Jackson either. You know, I don't know. Like I said, I'm on the outside looking in. You know, I don't know these people or the relationships that they have with each other. It's kind of like that work relationship. You know how managers, or even certain coworkers can talk to a manager in a way that you can't. And you got the same pull in the office. You got the same position. But certain people can talk to the manager in ways you can't. You ever notice that? And vice versa. Sometimes managers talk to certain people in different ways. You know, so certain managers, they scared of certain people they're not. I've seen it. But yeah, he's afraid he's punch him in the face, but he's talking to him like that because he know he wasn't going to do nothing to him. He didn't know this dude would tear the whole office up. You know what I'm saying? So.
This is the thing. I think Will.
It could have been anybody.
I think Will was fed up, and then he took it out on somebody he knew he could get away with taking it out on.
Yeah.
Which is why it's so pussy to me.
He's known him for like 25 years. He's like,
He's also
made
jokes. I want to make a point about that. He did make jokes in the past. I want to make another point.
Why is he sitting there in that suit of armor, by the way? I guess I need to see the beginning of the show.
Nobody in that room is rooting for Chris Rock.
What do you mean?
Keep this in mind. All the people in that crowd have been made fun of by Chris Rock for the last decade. These are people who live in their own little Hollywood bubbles. Nobody ever gives them pushback. Nobody ever teases them. Nobody ever says nothing to these people. They don't have a sense of humor. You go see these shows, and they're like groaning about all these jokes, and then applauding when the joke is virtuous, right?
Yeah.
They have to go to these events because they want the public applause.
Yeah.
They want the public validation, but they know that they're going to get caught in the crosshairs from a Chris Rock joke, and it drives them crazy. And they were happy. Did you see the way Samuel Jackson dapped up Will Smith afterwards? Did you see the way that Denzel and Bradley Cooper?
Hey, watch it.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Hey, Denzel a loser, dog.
No. Chill. I gotta give credit.
About to come over there and smack you right now. Fuck out of here, bro.
His name out your mouth.
I didn't see him dap him up. I would have to see it for myself because it depends on the type of dap you gave. Sometimes it's kind of like, yo, man, how you doing? You okay, man? You all right? All right, well, you need to talk about this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could have been like that, or it could have been like, my man. Woo! I don't know. I didn't see it. You know, and I guess, from what I saw, the little clip of Tyler Perry and Denzel talking to him, it looked like they were trying to, like, you know, like, yo, you know, like it wasn't like, yo, my man, what's happening? Yo, you wow, yeah, tell that dude, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, keep your wife's name out of his mouth, you know, like, it seemed like they were trying to, like, calm him down, see if he alright, you know, all that good stuff, so, we'll see.
I will.
At a certain point, it looks like he thinks that it's gonna be, he's joking.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure at a certain point, I bet it was very close quarters when the energy probably changed in his mind. He's like, oh, this is not a joke. What do I do? Do you think Rock did the best thing that he could have done?
Yes.
Yo, he literally, his new tour is called Ego Death.
Antonio Brown.
That's interesting, right?
At the Oscars and not doing nothing, you can't have an ego about that, bro. And he can't even come back and make jokes about Will.
Yes, he can. Yes, he can. There's two types of black people. There's black people and then there's Will Smith. Every time black people want to have a good time, Will Smith come and fuck it up.
That's good.
Do a better Chris Rock than
Will
me.
Smith always wants some credit for some shit he's supposed to do. I protect my family. You supposed to, you dumb motherfucker. Be my 4/5 mine. I hate Will Smith. The media. You think when I'm at the Oscars, I'm looking at the audience for the media? No, I'm looking for Will Smith.
It was a rare instance where someone is so
knows his
enormously
stand-up.
famous and successful like Will Smith that they literally still allowed him to not just win the Academy Award, but also go up and accept it and give a speech after he assaulted a small comedian.
Yeah, they should have
on
ejected him.
stage.
They should have ejected him from the show.
100%. 100%. I agree with that. You can't just go smack a man in the face in front of the world and then go about business as usual. First of all, it sets a terrible precedent.
Yes.
In so many different ways. It sets a terrible precedent for comedy clubs.
Yes.
Like, are people going to decide that they're going to go on stage and smack the comedian?
I hope
now?
they try to smack Brendan or you.
That reminds me. What did Will Smith say about what he did? Hold on real quick, because I don't want to mess it up. Will Smith's apology. Let me see here. I don't, it may have been in a different quote. My behavior was stained and it's not the one. It's a different one. But didn't he say something about it was inexcusable, it was wrong, but but it wasn't unforgivable. And that's the problem with cancel culture. Yes, all right, repercussions, all that stuff. But what's funny is people in the public eye, people want to be unforgiving. It's like everyone makes mistakes. From your fucked up cousin that keeps going in and out of prison, but you keep inviting him to all the family dinners, and there's no problem with it. You hug him, you dap him up, you joke with him, even though he's in and out of prison for whatever it is. You're still cool with him. You see what I'm saying? Like people do this all the time, and that's just more of that's just a normal example. But as soon as someone in the public eye messes up, oh, I'm never watching their movies ever again. Oh, I am so, it's just reprehensible. What? In the meanwhile, you've got a torrent downloading right now, stealing a movie. You know what I mean? Like, it's just amazing to me. You know, when you just sit down and you just look at things logically and look at both sides. And I'm like, okay, yeah. He could have been arrested, could have not been, depending on the situation, okay? Yeah, he's not above the law. They're trying to figure it out. Ratings, award show, all that other good stuff. I see what's going on. Yes, he was 100% wrong for doing that. I could tell he's going through something. He's got some, mental weight that's going on right now with him. All right. They scored him out. Whatever. Chris said no. Okay, don't press charges. I understand it all. Like, I'm not sitting here clutching my pearls. As Scarlo said, clutching my pearls. Look at our reaction. At the end, she says that. People thought that was funny. I just believe the world is blowing it out of proportion, but my fans want to hear about it, so I continue to give you my insight on it. But it's like I said, it's not like they found 20 dead bodies and it buried in his backyard. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't, you know, I lost all respect for Will Smith. All of it. Oh. You've been out with your boys and your boy got into a fight and punched somebody he shouldn't have punched. And your boys, till this day, 20 years later, in your 40s. Oh, I lost all respect for you, Matthew. You should have never punched that guy in the bar. What is wrong with you? Oh, that's how people act. It's ridiculous.
Well, I just want to see one Joe Rogan turning sidekick. Yeah, Chuggy.
I don't necessarily think people are going to change their behavior, but dumb people might. But also, it's just like, what are we saying as a society when the people that we look up to, for whatever reason, for good or for bad, we look up to actors.
Yes.
And by the way, for anyone new to this, I'm not justifying anything the man did. He's 100% wrong. What I do is think out why. Think about why and how and the different aspects of thought that people are going through in these different situations and why things may have been done, why things may have not been done. So that's what I do here. Tell me I'm justifying it. Well, all the people that said I justify it have been banned, which is not many. Like, I've counted maybe over the course of my videos, maybe 8 people I had to ban for that. And you know what I mean? Don't tell me I'm doing something that I'm not doing. You know what I mean? But
and the Academy Awards is supposed to be them in their most regal outfits, their best behavior, and to drop down to violence for something so innocuous as a G.I. Jane joke.
What rematch would you rather see? Masvidal?
And Joe Rogan's a smart dude. I actually, respect his intelligence on a lot of things, and he's willing to think about things a lot. But when I heard him say that, I was like, well, I mean, no one's said it to him on the show. I'm like, well, if I was on the show, I'm like, well, Joe, there are plenty of things that are what a lot of us would consider to be small that are big to other people. You know what I mean? It doesn't give them the right to slap people. Just like I said, alopecia to a lot of people isn't a big deal. But to a great many people in the world, it is a big deal because there's millions of women that lose their hair and men that lose their hair. And it's devastating to them. I think hair transplants and pills to grow hair and all these other devices to grow your hair back it's like a multi-billion-dollar business. Why do you think that? Because it is important to people. And, I explained that vitiligo is something that is devastating to people. If you don't know what it is, look it up. So just because you may not think it's serious to some people, everybody's got their thing. You know what I mean? That little dig you can mess with them about that. And that happens amongst friends also. Sometimes you mess around about something that your friend is sensitive about, and it might start a fight between y'all. You know what I mean? A physical altercation. But you knew. Chris says he didn't know. So that's why I say, see, I'm looking at different aspects of the situation.
Versus Colby or Rock versus Smith?
Rock versus Smith, probably, just because I don't know how that plays out. But Colby versus Jorge, I think that plays out pretty similar to how it played out the first time.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, how much bigger is Will than Chris?
I think at least 50 pounds. I know that. Oof. How tall is Chris?
Colby smacked somebody?
How tall is Chris Rock?
And they get the shit wrong.
5'10".
Wow.
I wonder if either can scrap.
Will Smith is 6'1.5".
Did you measure him at the Oscars?
I looked it up.
Oh, you did?
And then I got bored of looking it up because I was trying to figure out the weights or whatever, and I just went to sleep.
And here's what comedians had to say on Twitter. Tim Dillon said, "Okay, but also, and this must be said, that was all great television. From the slap to the speech. Before that, the Oscars was incredibly boring and tame. We found the formula. A rocky marriage, a violent attack, a redemption arc? What a show." Andrew Santino said, "It's a comedian's responsibility to always know their audience, and that includes everyone's medical history, likes, and dislikes." Mark Norman tweeted about 600 times since this happened, but two of my favorites were, "Thank God Chris Rock didn't take a shot at Alec Baldwin," and also I thought Chris Rock is having a real jerk store moment right now.
The ocean called, they're running out of shrimp.
Yeah. But then I said to him, "Oh yeah? Well, the church store called, and they're running out of you."
Really? That's great. You said that to him?
Well, actually, I thought it up on the way over here.
Oh, that's not quite.
Everyone's done it. They thought of comebacks later.
I don't know this guy. It would have been so sweet.
Tom Segura I thought was a little soft on Will Smith. All he had to say was, "Fuck Will Smith's candy ass smacking a dude 4 inches shorter and 50 pounds lighter. He's just in his feelings because his bald-headed bitch been fucking around on him for years and he takes it.
Jesus
We all know
Christ.
who he wishes he could have slapped. Hashtag cuck Will."
God
He also
damn.
tweeted these 4 pictures of her bald ass head and said, "This bitch been bald, jokes about it or her are fine. It was tame AF, you were super sensitive about it, buy a fucking wig." And finally, Sam Morrell said Will Smith just won an award for being the best actor, but he couldn't act like a human being during a joke. And he also said this was the biggest hit Will Smith has been involved in since the 90s.
Wow.
So, all
People
around,
have been savage on the man.
Let's take on it. I'm sure no one will care about this in a few weeks, but it was fun while it lasted. Make sure you subscribe to Joke World, follow us on Instagram. Thanks for watching, and more videos coming soon.
My. Ooh. People have been savage. Oh my God. Well. Okay. Well, I've given as much commentary I can on this part 1. If you enjoyed my reaction, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and share. This video is on a channel called Joke World. Woo!